Hello, team. This is Manish and Adam, and we're here to present our learning module about the referral and management of bariatric patients. The reason why this project is important is there's about 90 million people in the United States that are overweight or obese, and the number of therapies that we have for them are numerous, but most providers either don't talk about obesity and overweight patients, or obesity and overweight conditions with their patients, or they're not aware of the different procedures that we have. Most providers just give patients the advice of hey, you just gotta lose some weight and exercise, eat less and exercise more, which is difficult for patients. So the intent of our project is to go over the risks and benefits of Roux-en-Y gastric bypass, the gastric sleeve, and the gastric balloon procedure, which we have just added on to our specialty in GI. The important part here is that if you went to medical school when I did, so that's about 15 years ago, the last thing you may remember is Roux-en-Y gastric bypass carried a 1% mortality. Those numbers are dramatically smaller now. The risks are much lower, and the gastric sleeve procedure is relatively safe. And so the reason why this module is important is to provide something for both providers and for patients, a way to talk about these new procedures. Adam?
All right, so our webpage here that we developed for our learning module begins by giving the title, both of our names, and then our contact information. As far as the objectives go, we want you to be able to define obesity, provide at least 3 associated complications that would qualify patients for surgery, describe currently available surgeries, as well as FDA-approved intragastric weight loss balloons, and talk about their effectiveness. List typical symptoms at time of placement of the balloon, things to expect while the balloon is in, and things to expect after removal of the balloon. List best practices for long-term management of sustained weight loss. And then we want you to be able to assess your learning by having you submit your own bariatric counseling video that we will review and give our pointers and feedback to you. Over here for our module activities, we talk about reviewing the definition of obesity, viewing videos on each procedure, which we have links for. Review patient expectations, which again, we have a link for this so that you can go over it yourself as well as provide one to the patients should they want it. We have provided a video example of Dr. Singla counseling a patient on obesity and obesity management. We have discussion boards available as well, and we'll talk about those more specifically when we get down to the bottom. And we also want you to submit your own counseling video, and then we have a course evaluation that we'll go through at the end as well. So here is the link for our obesity counseling video prepared by Dr. Singla, and below that are the procedure video overviews. Each link goes out to a different YouTube video for the specific procedure listed there. And then here is our link to our what to expect before and after the procedures.
And that's a Google Doc that's linked to. What we've also added are 2 discussion boards. For what are tips to counsel patients and what obstacles have the people that are coming to this website encountered in initiating a program like a bariatric program, whether it's political or socioeconomic or financial resources. We have a link here to submit your own video. That is the way that we will we'll do, it's a post test essentially for the trainees. And when you click on submit your own video, you'll see here as it loads, a description of what we want included in each video. And then finally, with the course evaluation looks a little bit like this. It's a 3-question evaluation, primarily with questions about whether or not after having done this module, people who've come to the module and done it, if they feel more comfortable about advising about bariatrics, the risks and benefits, and whether they're more likely to refer patients for these procedures. That's everything we have. We really appreciate your time, and we welcome any feedback.